Hey guys, it's Animelover and I'm back with another video. So, I wanted to say I apologize for the background noise. I'm in my living room like normal and our dishwasher is going off in the kitchen, and I really wanted to do these reviews because I kept pushing them off and they're starting to clutter up our space and I need to get them done. So, I have Five Below basically stuff because we have been going there a bit and we got a lot of stuff. So, we have this set of markers, which I'm very curious. They are pastel colors, so I'm going to be reviewing these in the video, and then I'm going to also be reviewing these ones. They are in a bag. They are from this brand. I don't know what they are. Never seen them. They're very interesting looking. They're not like most from what I've seen. And I'm not going to review them, but I thought they were extremely adorable, is that there's little milk cartons. Look, and they're little highlighters. Hold up. See, little highlighters. And it was just so cute, and I had to get them, and it came in a little box that was like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and it was super cute, and I wanted to show them off. I'm not going to review them because they're just highlighters, and I just want to use them for highlighter stuff, but they are so cute, and I just want to show those off. I have more stuff from Stupid Five Below, but those are going to be in a different video because I need to get the markers done because I have these I have to do. So, let's get straight into the color swatching. So basically the story behind getting these markers and all the other art supplies that we have from Five Below was that we were basically going to originally hang out with our dad for our birthday, but then we were going to actually hang out with our IRL friend Kay and stuff like that, and we didn't really want him to have to spend time with her and us because we knew he wanted to just mostly hang out with us. So we were like, okay, what if we hang out the day before our birthday? And he said, okay, let's do that. And we went to go have lunch and stuff, and then we then proceeded to go to then Five Below because we wanted to do something else. We wanted to hang out for a little bit longer and stuff, and then we were like, okay, let's go to Five Below and see what's like there in general. And we were there and stuff, and I had seen basically art supplies, and I was like, oh, art supplies, yes. And I had seen these really, really like cute markers, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to get these and stuff like that. And so I got them and stuff like that. I think both of them came from when we went with our dad. Because another time, because our dad bought all of our stuff for us, and it was like a birthday present and stuff and all that kind of fun stuff. And literally just the other day, our mom took us to Five Below because we wanted to hang out with her, and we were like, hey, do you want to go to Five Below and, just look at the stuff that is there? And so she took us, we went there, and we bought even more art supplies and more things that were there. And at this point, I don't even know which is which and what was in which haul of what we got. I just know that we got markers, and I need to test out a bunch of stuff as they are cluttering up our table, and they need to go places. I need to see if they're good, and so that's why I am doing the reviews finally for these, and I will have more reviews because we have more things that I am interested in showing you guys and stuff like that. So both of these markers were $5, and one of them was a set of 18 and another one was a set of 20. And very interesting in general with both of them, as both of them were very interesting in two different brands. One of them was from Artist Concept, and then the other one was Illustration Markers. So when color swatching the markers, I noticed very differently how like each marker kind of was, specifically when I grabbed the first set, which I'm going to refer to as the pastel markers. So the pastel markers were very interesting as the like marker itself was very smooth and had a very interesting texture to it that most like alcohol markers do not have. And it was very weird. It was very light and very much like, I'm not going to say felt cheap, but it felt cheap in a way, but it didn't feel like a bad cheap. That was what was really weird. Like, I actually liked the feeling of these markers than I do actually any other alcohol marker that we have own, like that we own and stuff like that, because of how nice they felt. And I just really enjoyed holding them and stuff like that. And it was just really nice to use them. I also very much really liked the colors in this set. It was a set of 18 and it was like really pretty. And I just really liked all the colors and they were just really pretty to me. The other one was really interesting for the illustration markers. It was very interesting color sorting. I was very curious on the colors they decided to choose, because some of them were weird colors and some of them were like, that is a bold color choice that you decided to give in this set. Very weird, but it was still very interesting to see them. It was weird too when I was using the chisel marker side that some of them were a little too like pushed out, so I had to kind of push them back down on the paper so I wasn't getting my hands dirty, so that the marker tip would then go back into the marker, and it was just kind of weird that that's kind of how it was. So I had no clue what I wanted to do for the drawing of this, and that's kind of why I haven't been doing reviews for a bit, and why it has taken me so long to get to this review. It's just I had no idea of what I wanted to do. And Fangirl had suggested, why don't you draw these little piggies, or at least pigs, and which is what you guys see on screen in the background, is our friend had gotten us these little gotcha like piggy things, and we had both gotten happy birthday ones, and it was really cute, and they're super adorable, and we love them so much. And we just had them on our table for a really long time because I knew I wanted to use them for inspiration in some way. And Fangirl was like, why don't you use them as inspiration, but instead of using 2 pages to do a drawing, why don't you use 1 page, but you use both markers on the same page. Half the page is for the pastels, and then the other half is for the illustration markers. And I said, oh my god, that is a wonderful idea. Let me do that. And so that is what I end up doing in the drawing later in the coloring process, so I can get a feel of each marker and just how they work and just how different they are next to one another and stuff like that. A thing that very much I was doing was I was getting very distracted because I was rewatching the show From again. I was watching season 1 and then I got to season 2 and stuff like that. But I was rewatching it again, and it's a show that me, Fangirl, and our IRL friend Kay are very obsessed with right now, even with the whole story and stuff and how it's going right now. Not gonna spoil that. That's gonna be a future review thing that I will do at some point. But in general, I was very distracted rewatching it, and I was just like not in my game when drawing, but I had nothing else I wanted to listen to besides this. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have that in the background, and that's what I was basically listening to while just doing this. I love how I'm watching a horror show and then I'm drawing these cute little pigs, and I thought that was so funny. So when I had done the color swatching, I had noticed that both of these markers were very much really juicy, and they were not going to probably react very well to Sharpie, and that is my main thing that I outline with. And so I knew kind of going in that I need to think of a different method of how I want to color, and I want to do this because I don't want to outline it and do all that work of outlining it, and then it just gets ruined and smudged and stuff like that when I just add color. And I really didn't want that to happen, so I was like, okay, I'm going to do a method, and I'm not happy about the method I had to do, but I was going to do this method, was I was going to erase the sketch and then just go in with the markers and then just try to faintly see what I am doing, and then later go over with the outlining, aka my Sharpie, and hope for the best. That is the method that I ended up going with because it was the only method that would work in my head, and so that is what I did. Now that I've gotten all that out of the way, let's get to the pros and cons for both markers. So, pastel markers. Let's get to the pros. So, the pros of these markers is that the colors that were chosen are so pretty. I very much enjoyed the colors of these. They were very nicely picked. There was a good variety of each kind of colors of like pinks, greens, and like blues and stuff like that, and I very much enjoyed like just the colors in general. They were just so nice and stuff like that. Another thing was I very much enjoyed how smooth and nice like the feeling of the marker itself was, and I honestly just loved holding them and just in general using them because of just my hands feeling the markers and how smooth and like nice they were. It was just really nice. They were also pretty juicy, so that was very nice, and none of them were dried out, so that was very good and nice because, you're buying from Five Below. You don't know what you're going to get, so it was very nice that all of them were very juicy and very nice and did not dry out on me. They also blend slightly good together, so I very much enjoyed that. I don't normally blend with my markers and stuff like that because I just use it more as like a put down color and then get a colored pencil and shade. But when I was like adding stuff and I was trying to mix the colors a bit, it was very nice with the blending that I did do. So I very much did enjoy those. Now to the cons. I did not like the case. I hated the case so much. If you guys know me, I say this in every review. If it comes with a case and I cannot reuse the case, or the case kind of sucks, I'm going to comment on it, as I need to be able to store this somewhere, and if the case doesn't work, I have to figure out where to put these and stuff like that. And unfortunately, the case was very cute. It was very nice. It was a little like container that I could carry and stuff like that, and it was travelable. The only problem with it was I could not lock it. It would not lock. It would not close. And that was the only one at the store. And so it was very annoying that it would not shut and that I could not get it to shut. And so if it ever fell over, it would just open and spill out. And I was like, well, that's an issue. And so I could not keep them. I could not keep the case because it was just going to be an issue for later. And I was not going to want to have to deal with that. Thankfully, we had bought basically a container thing for it, so we were able to put the markers somewhere, but if not, it would have been really annoying and stuff like that. Another thing that was really annoying, even though I liked the marker, like, itself, I did not like how hard it was to put the caps back on. Every time I tried, it was so difficult. I would take it off, and then I try to put it on, and then it wouldn't go on, like, at all, and I was like, why is it not going on? Get on. And so I'm like putting a lot of pressure to try to get to shut, and then it would like not shut, and then I have to turn the cap and then see if it would shut, and then then it would shut. And so I'm like, okay, that's really weird. Okay, weird. Another thing this was very annoying, and this was the thing I noticed very much when doing the color swatching in the very beginning, and I was worried it was going to be an issue later. It was a problem later that I noticed was, so when I put the color down, it then would basically, it would be fine, it would look nice and stuff, but then as it started to dry, it started to get this weird outline around where the marker had been, and you can see it and see where the color had been put down. So imagine I did a circle and then the circle dried. The center looked very soft and pastel-y, but for some reason, then there was like a darker outline of ink, and it was like really weird that that's what it looked like. And so you had to either work extremely quickly with the markers, or you had to just deal with it. And it was just really weird that the markers did that, because when I used the other ones, it did not do that. And every other alcohol marker I've used doesn't do that. And it was just really weird that that's how it decided to work. And so I thought that was really weird and stuff like that. And those are the most notably worthy ones for the pastel ones that I noticed while coloring. It was really weird with that. That was like the biggest con I had with it, because I had to work extremely fast, and I'm not very fast with alcohol markers. And because it was a chisel tip, so it was a little bit harder to get it to be softer and stuff. And so it was very annoying when it started to do that. Now onto the illustration markers. So here are the pros. I very much liked the case for this. It was the little blue case that was like the plastic little travel container little plastic thingy. And I very much thought that was adorable and super cute. And it was actually really nice for all the markers that were in there and stuff like that. And I very much did enjoy it and will keep it in the future, as it is something I'm going to use. Probably not for the markers itself, as again, we put all these markers in a little container thing that we bought, so all of our markers were sorted and stuff. So we're probably going to use this for something else, but I very much did think that it was super adorable and cute with the case that it came with, and that it is a thumbs up for me with the case, unlike the other one. The other thing that I very much liked was that they worked like markers. They basically were pretty much like a normal alcohol marker, and they were very nice to use because they worked like alcohol markers, and I very much enjoyed using them. I was going to say that there were a lot of skin colors when I was just looking at them and looking at the caps and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, these have a lot of skin colors. There's at least like 8 different ones. And then when we did color swatching later, I found out that actually like 3 of them are like this orangey color, and I was wrong with that and all that. So that is not actually a thing I can actually confidently say was a good pro, because they were wrong with the colors, which goes into the cons. The colors did not match the caps. This was something that very much irritated me. I did not notice it when I was coloring, but when we were color swatching it hours later, I had noticed that the colors truly did not match the caps. And I want to let you guys know, the little pig that's on screen that I am coloring, when I was coloring it, it was the exact same color as the pig next to it. So like the little pearly one with the pastels, that was the same color on the cap, but in camera, in photos and stuff like that, the little pig looks this yellowishly orange or like yellowish color, which is not the color that I used, which is what I mean that the colors are not the same as the caps. And it was very weird and off-putting when I saw that, and I was like, why is the color different, huh? Is it the lighting? Is it this? I was thrown off when I actually saw the colors. And I was like, oh, okay, that is really weird. Okay. Another con that it basically had was that they were almost too juicy. Like, it's okay and good to have juicy markers, but these markers were almost like too juicy, that they were bleeding all over the place. Like, I was putting it down and it was going way over where I wanted it to actually go, and it was like hard to control almost. And it's obviously not a big con, but it was a noticeable thing, and so I just wanted to like say that. Another thing that was really annoying for me was it was hard to tell which side was the chisel and which one was the bullet tip, and it just wasn't easy to find. It was just a line, like a gray line telling me this is the chisel side and then this side is the bullet side, and the one with the line is the bullet. And it was just so thin, like that line was really thin. It was so hard to notice it. And it was just infuriating every time I was trying to color and I was trying to get one of the sides, and I just kept getting the wrong one. And I was just like, what the heck? Why is it so hard? And this was something I didn't notice until hours later, again, when me and Fangirl were color swatching, was none of these markers that I have and that I am using in the illustration markers had any indication of how to tell the markers apart. So most markers have a name and then have like a number on like the caps and stuff like that. These did not have that, and we had to apply our own numbers to them so we could do the color swatching and be able to just tell them apart. And that was something that actually was not a big problem to me while coloring, but when I noticed it later, I realized how weird that was, that there were no numbers and no way to indicate what color was what, because some of the colors were very similar. And so it was like, okay, that's weird. What if I grab the wrong color and stuff like that? And it was just weird that that's how it just was. And it was just a really, really weird thing. Overall, I actually did enjoy using these markers, and I will be using them in the future, as they are pretty good markers for $5 markers at Five Below. If I had to pick between the two, though, I would say that the pastel markers are honestly more of my favorite than the illustration markers, as they were just more pretty and more fun, and the colors were just so much nicer to look at and use than the illustration markers. But overall, again, I very much did enjoy both of them, even though I do have a favorite. I very much enjoy them both and will be using them in the future. Since I basically got through all the pros and cons for these markers and stuff like that, I'm going to do a little self-promotion because, well, I can. So if you guys are interested in getting exclusive or early access art, including early access of YouTube art, which we will not be posting anywhere, which includes this drawing and other drawings that we have done in the past and stuff like that, then go check out our Patreon. We try to upload as frequently as possible and as much as possible, and we have a wide variety of things. All of it is sorted and in the collections and stuff like that if you are interested in seeing all the types of art that we basically do on there and stuff like that. If you're interested in commissioning us or want to get stuff like yachas and things like that from us, then consider checking out our Ko-fi. We have a lot of stuff on there, and we try to upload different yachas and stuff like that, and we are always open for commissions if you're interested. If you're interested in getting character designs or custom stuff from us, then consider checking out our Toy House or our Instagram Adopt account. We have a ton of adopts that are still available, and if you are interested, you can either, pay with money or do art trades or OC trades and stuff like that. We are always open for doing adopt stuff and things like that. We have a ton of them, and if you are interested in that type of stuff, go check them out. All the links will be down in the description down below. And if you guys did enjoy this video and you want to see more from us and all that, as we have plenty more videos and ideas to do in the near future, then please consider leaving a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye!